Great presentation so far from Diana and Jim. I think seeing different stakeholders' perspectives on this. Diana as a service provider who is trying to integrate electric vehicles and seeing the challenges, but also setting goals, because it takes leadership to do these things. It doesn't happen on its own, and making those investments. And then Jim did a great job outlining some of the new operational challenges that are a little bit different than just operating a diesel bus. So Proterra is the manufacturer of, and I'd say the leading manufacturer in North America of heavy-duty electric buses and other heavy-duty vehicles. And what you'll see here is we're trying to develop the product that makes, from a reliability standpoint and from an operational standpoint, as easy as possible to be able to help meet all these goals that are being set and make it as efficient and least expensive. So I just want to start off by just giving you some sense of where the market is. We're hearing people give goals, and we heard about a joint announcement with Edmonton coming up. Edmonton actually has an enormous fleet in Canada, one of the largest in North America, actually, deployed right now of electric buses. And what we're seeing when you look at the market, this is overall, but just give you some idea. Right here, you can see European, North American medium duty and expectations. This is the overall market, 74% by 2040, 90% for European by 2040, and North American heavy duty is 30%. Now that's a lot of different vehicles. That includes off-road backhoes. It could include buses. It could include any number of things. The bus sector that we'll talk about is even higher. It's probably the fastest growing conversion because it makes so much sense economically. So just want to give you a sense of what's going on in the market. That I don't think there's any turning back on this because it makes so much sense. So what Proterra does, we have an integrated technology ecosystem where really we're able to offer an optimized product offering. In the middle there, you'll see this is actually a battery. If you ever wonder what a big giant battery looks like, this is it. It actually kind of has the shape and dimensions of a mattress, of actually a twin-size mattress. You can imagine that, a little bit thinner and a little bit longer, but that's about what it looks like. And it just happens to be the right space to put under a vehicle. Now, what Proterra has done is on the bottom there, you can see the transit bus. This is the core market we've started, and we've been delivering transit buses for 10 years. It's a purpose-built vehicle. It's the only purpose-built transit bus in North America versus taking a diesel bus and putting batteries on it. So we've got over, I think, 1,200 orders to date, and more than half of those deployed with customers. And that's 130 plus customers in 43 provinces and states. Then over on the right side, what happened was Proterra was delivering these vehicles, and in the process, we had developed our own battery. And we had other types of vehicles and manufacturers who wanted to deploy our technology. And so I'll go into some more detail in a minute, but you can really see nearly every type of medium duty and heavy duty vehicle now is using a Proterra battery. And then the other piece we identified is the energy piece, that your bus is only as good as your charging infrastructure and your ability to manage that and manage the energy, which is what a lot of the work that Deb is focused on, is how do you manage this information? Because you can do this in a smart way or a less smart way, meaning specifically that you can save, we think, up to 50% on your capital and operating costs, depending on how you charge and if you're doing it the right way or not. So this is what Proterra offers. Again, it's the bus as the actual vehicle, the entire vehicle, and then we offer the battery for everything else, and then the energy solution for the charging infrastructure. So this gives you a sense of kind of the different approach we take with these different types of vehicles. So you can see these are the core electrification components that you need on a vehicle. So on the top on our transit, and then with Daimler, Thomas school buses in the United States, we offer really everything. It's the battery system, the EV components, the high voltage systems and controls, and the drivetrain on all those. And then you can see down the line, different partners require different components from Proterra. They all, of course, use the battery, but you can see the different companies who have done their diligence and said Proterra is the company we want to work with to put their battery system on to make our vehicles work. And we're excited because we think that there's a right way and a wrong way to develop a battery. Don't ever let somebody tell you that all batteries are the same. It's not true in terms of engineering, in terms of energy density, and in terms of safety. So we've taken all those designs and really built a purpose-built heavy-duty battery on that. And again, one of the key points that I want to point out here, I gave this example a bit earlier, but here on the left here, where it says unmanaged charging model, this is an example of a sample 45 bus fleet. And the green represents the start and the end of a bus operating in a day. So it leaves the yard and comes back. The blue represents an hour long of maintenance when the vehicle gets back in the yard. And then the yellow represents when that vehicle will charge. Now, if you didn't manage this, you just said we're going to charge them all at the same time, you can see down below that would require 45 150 kilowatt chargers, one charger for every vehicle. And you would have a maximum power demand of 5 megawatts, which is quite a bit. And then you'd have a hypothetical project cost over 12 years, including the cost of electricity, of $17.4 million. And part of that challenge you can see right here is we've got this giant spike every day when we charge all those vehicles, and it is going to increase the cost of electricity and the infrastructure to deliver it. When you spread it out, when you're a little bit smarter about this, and this is the thing that's really neat about fleet vehicles that leave and come back predictably every day and charge in the same place, you can really cut things down. So you can see what we're doing is we're spreading this out. We're flattening that demand curve. You can see right here, it goes from 5 megawatts to 1.3. And we went from 45 chargers to 12 because we can share the charger when we spread it out. They're not all charging at the same time. And you can see the overall hypothetical project cost went from 17 million down to 9 over that 12-year period from both operational costs and capital costs. So one thing we always want to make sure people understand, number one, the technology exists today to do this. If somebody wants to do this, you can do it right now. Number two, the technology also exists to be able to do this in a way that's less expensive than most of your fossil fuel incumbent technologies, if you just go about it in a smart way. And so if you have the will to do it, you can get it done. And both the hardware, the equipment, and the software exist and is continuing to develop to be able to make this an easy transition.